Hi everyone, I'm Marty Heffernan, Director of Culture, Parks, Recreation, and Environment for the city. I'm here to talk about the funding needs of the Parks and Recreation departments. I'll start with the Parks Department. Snapshot there is that the budget for parks in 2010 is $6.5 million. Staffing levels are 35 full-time staff and 44 hourly staff. Revenue of about $4.8 million from the general fund. $730,000 from Conservation Trust, which comes from the Colorado Lottery to the city. The total amount of contrast funding is about $1 to $1.2 million, but we're using about $730,000 of that amount for park and trail maintenance, primarily due to some of the funding cuts that we've seen in the last few years. We also do work for others of about $368,000. That's primarily work in the downtown that we do for the Downtown Development Authority. And also about a little over $500,000 in fees that we generate through rentals of fields, shelters, ball field preps, things like that. The Parks Department maintains 750 acres of parkland in 44 parks located throughout the city. We also maintain 25 miles of recreational trails, 62 acres of streetscapes and medians, and the cost to maintain an acre of parkland is about $5,400 a year, and that actually is well below the regional average. In the last 100 acres of parkland that we've added to our system, we've had to maintain without additional general fund support due to our funding restrictions. The priority needs for parks is $1 million. That money would be used to restore the quality of our park maintenance to the past levels that we've enjoyed, to fund infrastructure repair and replacement, increase sustainability, and fund maintenance of 5 new neighborhood parks and a new community park. Since 2006, park funding has been cut by $440,000 annually. So if this money was available, the benefits to the community would be that we would be able to improve our weed control in all of our parks and along the trails, open community park restrooms on a year-round basis. They're closed during the cold weather months now. We'd have better trash removal and recycling, and we would renovate and improve our median maintenance, and we'd also be able to plant flower and shrub beds. We could also replace our worn-out playground equipment, seal and resurface courts and parking lots, repair shelters, replace restroom fixtures, and just generally take care of park infrastructure in a better way. Finally, we'd be able to convert treated water irrigation systems in a few of our major parks to untreated water systems, which is it's a good cost savings. It's much more environmentally friendly because you're not using treated water for that. And then the other main benefit of the new funding would be that we could continue to build out the park system in the fashion that we have in the past. And this new money would enable us to maintain 5 new neighborhood parks and a community park. Those parks are built with impact fees that come from new residential development. So we only build the parks when we have new residential development that the parks will serve that area of town. And so the funding to build the parks is in place through new residential construction, and this would provide the funding to actually maintain those parks. Move on now to the Recreation Department. Their budget is just under $7 million. Staffing levels this year, 38 full-time staff, 100 hourly staff. That's actually a lot more than 100 people. It's a lot of lifeguards, referees, coaches, instructors, just people doing a lot of different things in our system. But it equates to about 100 people, full-time people. Revenue for recreation this year, about $1.5 million from the general fund, fees of about $4.5 million, and we're also using our reserves, about $750,000 this year and probably up to $900,000 next year due to the funding cuts that we've experienced. Recreation Services operates 10 recreation facilities: Eudora Pool and Ice Center, or EPIC, the Senior Center, Northside Otslon Center, the Farm, Mulberry Pool, City Park Pool, Youth Activity Center, Club Tico, Pottery Studio, and the Racket Center at Roland Moore Park. We generate actually over 65% of our revenues from fees, which is actually quite good. Although you have to be careful with that, because if the fees get too high, participation drops off. Consequently, revenue drops off. And our mission is to provide affordable, accessible recreation to the community, and so just have to be careful with the price point. But we do return 65%, and that's significant. Program participation in 2009 was 1.4 million participants, and a lot of that programming you can find in the Recreator, which we produce now 4 times a year. That is our guide to all of the activities and programs that we offer. And then participants receiving reduced fees was almost $32,000 last year, which was an increase of about 1/3 over the prior few years. Recreation also needs $1 million. Primarily that's because the recreation budget has been, the general fund support for that budget has been reduced by $1.1 million just since 2008. Now that reduction is being made up with recreation reserves, because recreation did a really good job of building up their reserves, and we're just having to use those now because the general fund support just isn't there at the same level. But unfortunately those reserves will be gone, our prediction is early 2013, because they're being used at such a dramatic rate. So the impact to the community if the new funding isn't available is that we really would have to look at closing a major recreation facility. That would most likely be either the Senior Center or the Northside Otslon Center, and eliminate recreation services for people with disabilities. In the alternative, we could look at staff reductions. We'd have to lay off about 12 recreation full-time staff, which is 1/3 of our full-time staffing budget. Or number of people. That would have a dramatic impact on programs and just the operation of all of our facilities. The types of programs that we'd have to eliminate actually would be teen or reduce teen programs, outdoor recreation, after-school programs, summer playground programs, services for people with disabilities again. Facility maintenance would go down. We'd have little supervision of our hourly staff. Be dramatic. And so that's why the funding's needed, because funding is down in recreation from the general fund significantly. Reserves will be gone in a couple years, and this is the kind of impact it would have if that funding is not restored.